asked me, what is it like to live with one income and live that way for 30 years? As you know, when we downsized, we decided one day to sit at the kitchen table, and we had a book just like this, and we wrote down all of our expenses. Then we slowly but surely went down through each and every one to see what could we cross off as an expense. Another thing we got rid of was our cell phone that was with a provider. Now we have those track phones, a disposable phone that we use. And I don't even have a phone. Only my husband, because I can have free calls on the internet. A lot of things to save money. Another thing was my hubby would cut my hair and I would cut his hair. We didn't go to a hair salon. We wore hand-me-down clothing. We had a $50 a week allowance on groceries. That was just to wean ourselves off of the hundreds of dollars a week we were spending on groceries. We learned to discount shop. We shopped discount stores. We shopped our food at discount places. We did a lot of things to save money. And in the beginning, of course, it was a hardship. But then it became a challenge. In anything in life, you can either become bitter or you can become better. And you can use it as a challenge in your life. We took all of our expenses and we slowly whittled them down to a bare minimum. We no longer had hot water for our house other than our shower. That saved us a lot of money in our oil bill. We sold everything that we absolutely could. Anything that was worth any value, we sold it. We got rid of our new vehicles and bought used, cheap ones. Not only did that give us a savings, it gave us a savings in our insurance. We no longer had the high premium insurance. We had a much cheaper insurance rate. When we downsized our housing, our house isn't worth as much as it was before. So we saved hundreds and thousands of dollars in insurance because we didn't need to have such high insurance. We only need insurance that would cover our home. There's so many ways that you can save money, so many ways you can cut your bills. Now, we've never had all of the fancy things of cable and things like that. We found ways to save money. Another big waste of our money was, of course, going out to eat. And we stopped doing that. But I want to share with you a little bit about how you still want to have things in your life that you enjoy. There's things in your life that you want to have that you enjoy, because if you scrimped and saved so much, sometimes in life it can become a little depressing. Case in point was a very good friend of mine. She was very plain Mennonite. But her and her husband, they didn't buy anything. They scrimped, they saved, but they didn't buy anything. And both of them really had issues in their life where they just had nothing to look forward to. So do those little special things in your life. For us, it was some ice cream. We would go out and get an ice cream cone once a week. It was something that was fun for us. We enjoyed it. Especially when you're starting to downsize, it can be very overwhelming to go from this life to this life. Use it as a challenge. Use it as something that is exciting and new and fun. Don't look at it with the mentality of it's a drudgery or it's something that is depressing, but try to make it fun. Don't be too hard on yourself as well. So many times we're so hard on ourselves. I can't get this, I can't do that, I can't do all of these things. And it becomes very monotonous and it becomes very sad in our lives. But have every once in a while the fun thing that you like to do. Still maintain your identity and your things that you enjoy. What do you enjoy in life? I like to buy used books. I love used books. And I continue to every month buy some books, which, as you see, I could save money and not buy them books. But in the small amount of money that I'm spending, I'm giving myself something in return. I'm giving myself some essence of things that I enjoy. It's not about the drudgery, about how much you can deny yourself. If you do that, then you're going to end up failing. because that's what happens. So many times when people have a diet, they do the same thing. So what they will do is they will deny themselves of everything. They will deny themselves of everything. And in the long run, they give up. One thing I think a lot of people find very interesting is when I was doing all of this downsizing and we were eliminating all of these expenses, there was one expense that I continued to do, and that was going to my thrift store. My Thrifty Thursdays was something I've done for the last 32 years. My Thrifty Thursdays is something I have done my whole married life. And I had $5 then. This wasn't something I just came up with for a YouTube video. I had $5. Even in the darkest of my days of downsizing and getting rid of everything, I still had my $5 Thrifty Thursday. And why did I do that? Was because it was $5, it's $20 a month, which a lot of people would say you need to not spend. But it gave me a sense of something that was enjoyable, that was for me. And I really believe that in the long run, that has really helped me a lot as far as being able to let things go and be able to reduce my spending, because it still kept my core hopes and dreams and my core happiness and my core things that I enjoy. Many times when I tell my story, I tell you that we freely gave it. We did. We gave everything up. We weren't at the point where we had to sell. We didn't have to sell anything, but we realized that it was so much struggle in our life to try to hang on to everything that we decided to give it and just to sell it. You know, and it's been the most freeing thing that I can tell you that's happened in my life. It's because we gave up all of that power and that power struggle, you know, about having all of these things and seeing that we weren't going to afford them. Instead of waiting to the last minute and be forced for something, we willingly gave it up. And I really believe that when you're willing to give something up in life, it's so much easier on you than if you were forced to. Meaning that we were headed away that we didn't want to go, and so we sold everything before we were forced. And I think that makes a huge difference in life. You know, don't look at it as I'm forced to do this, but look at it as I am giving up and I'm changing my life. A few people, especially the women, don't really understand a part of my story. Since it always arises ever since I talk about my story. And it arises with women online especially. Men never question this. It's always women. And I find that really fascinating. But they will often ask me, well, if things are so bad, Tessie, why didn't you work away? You know, we all have different dynamics in our life. We all have different cultures. My culture was we were stay-at-home moms. That was how my fundamental life was. My mother, my grandmothers, my husband's grandmas, they all stayed at home and they were at home. That is something that was instilled in us at a very young age. And in this culture, it's hard to understand that. And there is a new revival of women that are staying at home. I have a lot of respect, profound respect for women that worked away. I think that is amazing, and I think that took such strength. But for me, staying at home was my culture, and that's what I wanted to do. As a little girl, my dreams were to be a wife and a mother and stay at home. So all of these things have really shaped and molded my life and shaped and molded my family. And so my husband would never have considered me working away from home. That just wasn't what my dynamics were in my life. I welcome questions that are done in respect. I welcome all of these things because that's how we all learn from one another. You know, we all come from different walks of life. And on my channel, so many different walks of life, and it's amazing. I don't know a lot about things in life, but I do know about saving money. And I knew about having a hardship and learning from that. I learned about letting go of pride. I learned all of that. I left go of the worldly and the materialistic pride. I do have some pride in my life. It's pride of changing my perspective. It's pride of learning from my mistakes. I don't have pride in the materialistic things of this world. You can have pride in your life. You can be happy for the achievements that you've made and the goals that you reached. I have a lot of things to work on in my life. I have a lot of issues where I'm still dealing with. We are all a work in progress. But I'm thankful for where I was, and I'm thankful for where I'm headed. I'm thankful for all of these things that have happened in my life. It took me many years to say that I'm thankful for all the trials that happened in my life, my childhood, abuse that I lived with. I'm thankful for all of these things because it molded me into the woman I am today. And if you don't take anything from my videos, I hope you take this one thing, that don't be bitter about life. Become better. Use the trials in your life to change your life, to mold you, to become someone wiser and better. These are the life lessons that I have learned, and I'm still learning to this day. There are still areas of my life that I constantly work on. There's still areas of my life that I struggle with daily. But I'm learning through all of it that I'm working towards a goal. I'm working towards finally putting to rest some of the issues and the things in my life that I want to see changed. That's how we all are. We've never, ever arrived to the point where we have no changes to make. Be gentle with people, my friends. Be gentle with people. When you look at someone who makes a video, remember that they're human too. They do things, they make mistakes. They may do things different than you and I, but be gentle with them. None of us is perfect. We all make mistakes. We all are striving to be better. I hope you enjoyed this on my one income. That's one thing I know about. I know about living with one income, and I know about saving money. I went from a place where I didn't have to a place where I need to. And it's made my life so much better. Why do you think people talk about the good old days? The good old days, in today's standard, wasn't very good. But in the good old days, people looked back on a time when things mattered in life. They really mattered. And that's the goal that I'm trying to achieve, is in all areas of my life to be focused on only what matters, not the materialistic world that we live in, but the love for one another. Take care, everyone. We'll see you guys tomorrow.